Alright, I'm losing. You know how you get weak and your bones start to ache? Well, that's how I feel right now. I don't know how I'm still going. Well, I guess I'm going out of sheer desperation at this point. It's been like 91, 92 degrees all day. We just left to go get another belt. My local parts store only had a 90.5 inch belt. They told me it was the right one. According to the computer, it didn't fit. I went back, returned it, bought this Gates one. It is a 91.25, and I'm hoping it's going to work. And again, I'm running the smog pump delete pulley from LMR, and one that's just got a block attached to the back of it. I painted mine black, the back of it. And I'm running, from what I understand, factory installed AC. I'm not sure why LMR differentiates between standard and automatic cars. I didn't realize the belt would have any, I just didn't realize that affected the belt length at all. But needless to say, I bought this belt. We'll see if it works, and yeah, go from there. Alright, so if you're running a thicker radiator, you're gonna run into that problem. And I don't want to have to do this, but I put a notch at the bottom of the fan shroud. You can probably see how deep I went. Yep. And that was so that I didn't have to pull anything apart, and I could just get it over that pulley, the Vortech pulley. Here's my daughter. She wants to go back to the pot store so bad. She's pumped. Don't fit. I'm going to buy a 92, a 93, and a 94. 5-rib belt. We're going to see what happens. Alright, boys, back from the pod store. Got a 92. Got a 93 and an 1/8. Got a 92 and 7/8. Well, 92 inches. And it appears to be in range. Yeah, that's ridiculous that I just had to go through all that. I couldn't get that answer. Not on YouTube, and not in Corral, not in StangNet, nowhere. But now you guys know, if you're running smog pump delete idler pulley, a 3G alternator, factory installed AC, power steering pump on the V3 SCI kit. Buy a 92 inch belt. Alright, belt is on. To put tension on that pulley, of course you could just lean on it with your palm, and there's 3 bolts to tighten it on this bracket here. That one's accessible. The one below it that you can see right at the tip of my finger is accessible. That one is, I mean, it's ridiculous, man. Again, I'm trying not to swear at this point, but that's the thinnest 19 I got. And then I've got 19s in these, which are even, these are gear wrench. These are even thicker. And I'm supposed to be able to fit a wrench between that pulley to grab that, and you can't grab it from underneath. That's hidden behind the circumference of that idler pulley completely. It's absolutely ridiculous. The only reason I was able to get it before I didn't realize it was because the idler pulley wasn't fully bolted. I didn't have it tight, which, by the way, holding that front bolt up here to tighten that nut, good luck with that too. It's a 19, by the way, both sides. Jesus. Just doesn't end. And then this setup here, 1/2 inch drive. Can you see those two? You're not getting anything in there. You're not getting a pry bar in there. I mean, you're not getting a bar in there. It ain't happening, dude. There's no room. I tried putting an extension on it, tried putting an angle socket on it to get it around here and put tension. it ain't happening. This little blow-by piece, it wasn't really detailed too well in the instructions, but they tell you to cap that off and run this blow-by to this fuel filter. They don't tell you which direction the fuel filter should go. I put it in that direction. Hoping that's right. It doesn't say, and LMR didn't mention it in their video, but they did actually install this setup. Most of the superchargers, most of the Vortex you find online, you know, they've already ditched this. They've gone with the higher end stuff, the Anderson power pipes, etc., or the inner fender stuff. So again, I wanted to film all this, get it all down, get it, you know, on YouTube, so anybody else who's contemplating this kit can see what they're up against, and you know, again, also just so I can document it, because this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, and I'm hoping that this is just a really reliable street car, because that's all I really need, you know, that's all I need. I probably won't drag race it, I probably won't road course it, you know what I mean? It'll probably just be a back and forth to work on special days, maybe a few nighttime cruises, car shows, that kind of thing. But right now it needs to be my daily until I can figure out that transmission. So enough talking. I just wanted to let you guys know where I was at with everything. I hope I did a good job of detailing everything up until this point, things that I ran into. And, you know, of course, I'm leaving a lot of things unbuttoned here. I've got the fuse box for the stereo system just sitting there. I bought the Moroso coil cover that is up on a shelf over there. That's not installed. Battery's not hooked up yet. What else? The plug wires, I'm going to buy the proper routing kit that runs along the valve covers, or I may just buy, I'm missing some of the stock ones. I actually like the stock ones, and I believe these wires will fit in them. The ones that go right on the edge of your valve cover bolts. I have the proper valve cover bolts set up for that, because this car did have them. It only had 3 of them though, so it was missing 1, I think, which sucks because the kit is like $20 for those tiny pieces of plastic. So yeah, I gotta get the wires out of the way for now. I just put these Ford Motorsport clips on there that the previous owner had on the blue plugs that were on there. And yeah, these radiator clamps aren't staying. I'm gonna buy that setup that kind of covers this and pulls it tighter. I haven't painted the intake cover. I haven't checked the fluid level and put in the proper cap in the blower itself. The battery is bolted down. I think I went over that previously. If you buy the Optima, which setup you can use. You can see there's a red one. I don't know if you can see it, but I went over that, I believe. The clutch still needs to be adjusted. I do have the fork cover for the bell housing. I never had that on any of my Fox bodies, so I figured why not buy it. And I just decided yesterday not to install it because I need to still adjust my clutch. And it's adjustable here, and it's adjustable at the firewall. I mean, at the fork, I believe, if I remember which cable I bought. So yeah, I want to see how this is going to perform the way Vortech advertises it, and you guys will get to see with me. Stay tuned. Oh yeah, that also means I may just fire this up with the stock fuel pump, because Vortech doesn't require you to upgrade the stock fuel pump with this kit. However, I have a 190 sitting in a box. Should I take the time today and just do that, even though I feel like shit? Or should I just fire it up first, see if it runs? If it runs okay, drive it back and forth to work for a few days, and then do the... Yeah, see, even hearing myself say it, I know I just need to just do it. You still got plenty of hours of daylight. Drop that tank. Get this thing done. What do you think, guys? This is it. This is it. I'm pretty excited. You know what I'm also excited for? To clean this thing. It's now 1:20. I got, we'll say, 7 hours of daylight. Should I just do it, or should I just connect the battery terminals and fire it up? I know this is where we left off before, but hey, at least I got organized. Just get this friggin' fuel pump in, see if this thing's gonna run right, or if the belt's gonna fly off of it, or if it's gonna, I don't know. Know my luck. Well, if you're using a stock regulator, as I am, you would typically grab from the Schrader valve, which is my finger. That's how much room there is between this elbow and the valve cover. And that's where the Schrader valve is pinched right now. Even though it looks like it fell, it didn't. It just, when I lowered it down, it just toppled about an inch. Nothing's pulling or anything. I don't know how the hell I did this in a parking garage in the dead of winter in Massachusetts, on my back with one jack. I really don't. I know I complain a lot. Like I said, I'm only a mechanic. Because I don't want to trust anybody. I don't trust anybody else. And I can't afford the people that I would trust. So, yeah, this is it. Let's get this fuel pump. Fuel filter's already, K&M fuel filter's already hanging up in there waiting to go. Let's get this 190 in there. Everything looks good. I'm going to vacuum this thing down real quick for what it's worth. Get all these rocks out of there. And slap this thing in. Well, as shitty as I feel, I'm glad I did this. I was thinking to myself, maybe, you know, who knows, maybe the fuel pump had been changed at some point. Nope. That's OG Ford connectors. See them shits? Fuel pump's in. I have no idea how nervous I am to start this shit right now. I really am. I finally connected the battery. Nothing's smoking, nothing's smelling, although I don't think I could smell much anyway. Alright boys, bad news. The belt started slipping off the back side of the AC compressor. And you could smell it. It was starting to get hot, which is what made me shut it down. And then I seen it. Even with my clogged up nose, I could smell it. It, you know, with no exhaust sounds like holy hell, but if that even makes sense, it just stumbled. I had to keep my foot on it to keep it running, you know, back and forth, just tapping the gas to keep it running, which I only did for, I don't know, 30-40 seconds, and then I shut it down. So I don't know. I haven't done enough research to get to the point of startup and what problems dudes have dealt with, so I guess I'm there now and I'll go down that road. I was hoping she would just fire up and we could slap some tailpipes on her next week or this week and drop that Hyundai rental car off and deal with that Pathfinder transmission another day. But no, to get to the bolt that I think has a spacer behind it or a washer behind it that is causing that belt to jump off back towards the firewall, I gotta take this box out, that elbow out, and I gotta get down in there. I was able to get the washers off of the spacer that I decided I would put in there. Don't do what I did. I don't think it was necessary. I was able to get them out by just removing the tube. Hold on a second. Removing this tube, reaching my arm down in, and reaching my hand behind. I was able to let the washers fall out after I backed the bolt out by pulling the plug out, all that good stuff. You saw that a minute ago. Needless to say, I got the thing back up in there, got the nut back on the front of it of the 6.5 inch or 6 1/4 inch bolt, and we're good to go. I fired it up. Good news is, I turned up the idle screw just a bit, and she wanted to run this time, but the belt jumped again. Then I decided, you know what, I remembered reading something about adding a washer or removing a washer. Had nothing to do with the smog pump. Had everything to do with that right there. That piece right there tells you to add 2 washers. But it also says you could add or remove a washer. And of course, if the belt is jumping this way, it's because this is the tensioner pulley is pulling this way because it needs to be more out this way, right? So I was going to add 2, and then when I added 2, it looked crazy. So I just added 1, and we're going to see what happens. Good. Now I fixed the belt problem, but it seems like it's relearning the idle, which the battery's been disconnected for months, so that don't surprise me, but I might have to do a base idle reset, because this thing ran like, it purred like a kitten before. It's definitely not purring like a kitten, but it's running, so